Dave Kline, and with me is a legendary star of the Grand Ole Opry, Jesse McReynolds. Hi, Jesse.
Hi, Dave.
Good to see you.
Good to be with you.
Always great to be with you, Jesse. We were talking about Pennsylvania's tradition. A couple of years ago, you and I worked a show at the Lions Fiddle Festival, and that Fiddle Festival has been going on for more than 25 years now. When you were there, it was the 25th anniversary, and we had a great time there.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Tell us a little bit about the history of fiddle festivals as you know it here in Pennsylvania, because a lot of times folks don't think of Pennsylvania as being any place that would be home to, music that many consider to be from the Appalachian Mountains south of the Mason-Dixon line. But boy, you had places like Sunset Park and a television show. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we was on TV for about 10 years on Lancaster there, and with the Jim and Jesse show, and we did some bluegrass shows. I think we did a lot of country shows. We had a country band. Back then, in order to get TV shows syndicated, bluegrass wasn't that popular in television, but we finally got into doing some bluegrass shows, and of course Sunset Park was the place where everybody looked forward to playing to. The Grand Ole Opry artists, I think that was one of the places that they always looked forward to playing, and everybody would play there.
I heard that the Sunset Park was actually referred to as the Grand Ole Opry North.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. And how about the history of fiddle festivals, where we have this rich tradition of the young folks learning from the older folks? Like, you've mentored many people. I don't want to call them students, but the way we do it is we get together and we play music, and you've done that with your grandchild now. He's playing with you.
Oh, yes. Well, I grew up, and that's what we did. That was our entertainment, was live music, sitting on your front porch, or in the wintertime we'd go inside, and fiddle music was the main thing. My grandfather was a fiddle player. All my uncles played fiddle, and I started out as a fiddle player. I wanted to be a fiddle player until my brother and I got together as Jim and Jesse, and I had to do the lead singing. And in order to do the lead singing, it's not easy to do it and play a fiddle.
That's right. That's right.
A few people have done that, but fiddle music is very popular in our family, and it's the main part of country music, I think. If you take the fiddle out, then you lose a lot of the original sounds of how country music started.
I'd have to agree with that. The fiddling is really fantastic, and it's great to help keep that tradition alive. Now, you have two real signature parts of your music. Number one, you are literally the inventor of the cross-picking style of mandolin. Mm-hmm. And number two, you have always been progressive-minded, although I hear you say things like, well, we're not going rock and roll, but you make it seamless the way you do it. Let's talk first about the cross-picking, and then a little bit about the progressive sound of Jesse McReynolds.
Yeah. Well, the cross-picking came about, I had this thing in my mind ever since I was going to school, that I wanted to play music, and I wanted to create, be my innovator, I guess you might say. And so when we got to playing, Jim and I started, we played copied Bill Monroe, the Monroe brothers, and Belmore brothers, and the Carter family, and all those people back that way. But we started out, Jim was playing, he bought the mandolin. He got out of the Army in 1942, I guess, and I think that's when it was. As I get older, my memory slips a little bit. But he was a mandolin player. He didn't. Every time he lay it down, I'd pick it up, and so we changed instruments. I started playing mandolin. He took the guitar, and so I wanted to play like Bill Monroe, and I found out that wasn't easy. So I copied quite a few people. Jethro Burns, and named Paul Busker. He played sort of like Jethro, and Red Rector, he played with Carl Story. And I was influenced by a lot of different mandolin players. And so after we got into traveling on the road, I heard Earl Scruggs started with Bill Monroe playing banjo, and I heard him on the radio on the Grand Ole Opry. And I didn't know what he was playing until I went to work with Pope Jenkins, who played banjo like Earl, except he played it backwards. He played the backwards roll. For the banjo player, they knew what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm, sure.
And So all the way he could play was backwards, the backward roll. So that's, I said, well, I guess that's the way it's done. So I started, and he done it with 3 fingers, and I just used a straight pick and did it. That's why the cross picking came in. Like, you cross the strings, and it's a little complicated thing to do. I tried to create something with a straight pick that Earl Scruggs was doing with 3 fingers.
So it took him 3, but only you did just the 2 to hold the flat.
Yeah.
Right, I got it. Okay.
So Jim, he was listening to me and playing this new thing I was trying to do. He said, well, I don't know what you're doing, but it don't sound right. So he didn't encourage me very much. So I said, well, I'm going to keep doing it anyway. So I when we did our first record in 1952, I did the cross picking on a song called Are You Missing Me? And it really created a lot of curiosity that this is a different style of mandolin playing. What's he doing? You know. Yeah. And so from there, it was accepted more throughout the bluegrass field. So I'm still working on things. Every day I practice a little bit, and I don't just sit down and play a tune. I just sit down and see where these fingers take me. So I write tunes every day, and if I don't record them, I'll come back the next day and say, now what did I do? I'll forget what I'd done the day before. So.
Yeah, it's a good. Take a little recorder with you. I find I have to do that these days
I've
too.
got a little recorder. I set one of the shirt pocket recorders that you sit down and just get it down where you hear it. And then I'll go back sometimes 2 or 3 months later and play this thing I put on this little tape recorder. Then I have to figure out, how did I do that?
That's right. How did I do that?
Yeah.
Well, it's a sound that absolutely sparkles. It is unique to the bluegrass world, what you created there. I mean, folks, we're talking literally with the man who created that cross-picking sound on the mandolin, and it's a wonderful thing. And you talk about innovation. Not only did you innovate that, but also then you taking songs by contemporary artists like John Prine and Jerry Garcia, and just your thought about why do you do that? I mean, what would interest you about that?
I listen to a lot of music. I listen to all types of music, and when I listen to it, I get this thing in my head. Now, how could I convert that to my style of music, or work it out in a different way where it would be my creation a little bit? So that's how the Jerry Garcia project came about. Through the internet, my wife, she got acquainted with Sandy Rothman, who was a banjo player that traveled with Jerry Garcia back in the 50s, and they came back from out here from California, and they watched our TV shows, and they come to festivals, and they were too shy to come up, and they said they're too shy to come up and say howdy to us. They buy songbooks and things. And he said they were too backward to ask us to autograph them. And I said, I guess I met Jerry Garcia somewhere along the line, and in a way, and I found out he was a fan of ours, and he liked bluegrass music, and so Sandy, he suggested that I listen to some of their music and consider doing a tribute to Jerry, because he was such a fan of bluegrass music and the Jim and Jesse sound. So my wife had she was a Grateful Dead fan, and she had all their albums, most every song they ever recorded. So she started playing these songs for me, and I listened. I said, well, I'll see if I can find the ones that I can handle in that type of music. So I did the Black Muddy River, which is
beautiful, absolutely beautiful
song. And after that, I just went in and picked out. They recorded thousands of songs, so I went and picked out the more simple ones that would go with my type of music, I think. Then I got some of Jerry's friends to help me on the project. David Nelson, he and Jerry formed the group, the New Riders, and so he came to Nashville and played with me on the Grand Ole Opry. First time we ever done a Grateful Dead song on the Opry. First time anybody did, I guess.
Well, there you go. The innovation of Jesse McReynolds. I'm telling you, at the time of this interview, Jesse, I know you're not shy about it. We talked just the other week about it. We're celebrating your 83rd birthday. Yeah. And more than 60 years involved with music and professional entertaining. And at this show, when we're filming this, is at the Pine Theater in Allentown, the Pines Theater. And just a comment about, before we go, a comment about your feeling about the room. You said this reminded you of something.
Gosh, it's just like sitting in your living room playing. I mean, everything's so neat, and the sound is good, and you're right. The people are all around you, and it's just most relaxing show I've done in years. It seems like, you know, and like we played the big festival out where they'll have 10,000 people. The night before we did this, and I enjoyed this much better as far as my personal feeling, as far as just enjoying playing. You know, the people sat there, I knew they came just to see us.
That's right.
And the response we got was great. And it's just wonderful to sit down in a room like this, and where you're so close to the people, and it's like family, you know.
Just like a family. I love the sparkle in your eyes when you talk about it. You still have that sparkle in your eyes and that passion, and I think that's fantastic.
Well, I told my wife the other day, I said, you know, she said, you sure practice a lot. I have to practice a lot in order to keep up with what people expect me to do. And I said, yeah, I'm addicted. I'm addicted to music like people are other things. You know?
That's a good addiction for everybody and for folks that love your music around the world. At the Pines Theater in Allentown, this has been a chat with Jesse McReynolds, star of the Grand Ole Opry, legendary bluegrass and country music performer. Jesse, I hope you'll stop by and visit us again soon sometime. Looking forward to working with you again real soon.
Thank you, Nate. I enjoyed it and look forward to being back with you.
Yep, continued success to you.
So this is one of the most popular songs that we enjoy. It's called Paradise.
Sorry, my son.
It'd be 83 to get flexible.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Garrett and I were talking earlier. We said our knees are already not so flexible.
But I think we'll get all the group together and do one together.
Wow. This is what's left of the group. They all had to go to other jobs. They were all playing.
Well, that's kind of bad. Good to some people working. I certainly want to say thank you, Dave, for making it possible to come by. I tell you, we played for about 10,000 people last night. We enjoyed this much more. This night we're all sitting here in the living room, we can sing together.
That's why this dinner was a good choice for this today.
Yeah. Hope we can come back to it again.
Anytime you're passing through, you give us a call, all right? Hey, JC, what do you like to do?
What do you think?
I usually sing in B.
Well, let's do an A at least. These high tenor singers, he's doing it well now.
Gotcha. So we'll trade off on this. You folks can clap and sing along if you wouldn't mind. Here again, the great Jesse McReynolds, star of the Grand Ole Opry and his band. Give him a round of applause.